To change anything, you must give up everything. If you want to destroy your enemies, you must rely on a devil. Floch served said devil and through doing so became a devil himself. However, at no point did he ever do it for himself. Floch was a cog, nothing more, and all he ever wanted was for those within the walls to live without fear of death, be it from Titan jaws or the outside world. This video is a Patreon request, so ring Jack, hope you enjoy. And for everyone else, if you find yourself entertained at any point during the video, then consider liking, subscribing and ringing that bell. Anyway, on with the video. Floch is a character defined by the idea of accomplishing a goal no matter the cost, of serving the devil himself if it means defeating the Titans and keeping Paradise Island safe. Before the Battle of Shiganshina, we see Floch join the Survey Corps in order to accomplish something. He rejected the idea of humanity just staying trapped within the walls. He saw it as meaningless to just sit by and one day be eaten by a Titan when he could help to rid the world of said Titans to begin with. He saw merit, saw meaning in joining the Survey Corps, of fighting the Titans under Erwin's command. He genuinely thought he could accomplish something, that he could become a hero. Call him naive if you want, but Floch's intentions were only ever to do the right thing. He thought that if someone had to become a soldier, if someone had to sacrifice their life for the sake of humanity and a greater purpose, then why couldn't it be him? I mean, let's not forget that once the Titans breached Wall Maria, the people of Paradise came to realise that one day they too would die by Titan hands, and so it became a decision of either waiting for that day to come and die a meaningless death, or to risk your life and fight back to die a meaningful death. However, when Floch reaches the battlefield, when he sees the truth of war, we come to understand that he wasn't exactly right. Whether dying by Titan attack or dying in battle, both were meaningless. As he breaks down on the battlefield, he laments. Why did he think he'd be any different? Why did he think he wouldn't just die as another name no one would remember? The futility of war, the tragedy of it. Floch came to understand war in the most intimate of ways. And so how does he react to this? Does he give up, accept his life and death will be meaningless? No, he does not. He comes to understand that no small effort, no actions within the reasons of standard morals and fair play can never achieve such an ambitious result. To defeat the Titans in a way that makes every soldier's death in the process have meaning is not realistic, and a lot of Floch's characterization from this point is almost the counterpoint to the idealism of the main cast. He is the realism of the world. In the end, many of the cast die in hopes of those of the future living in a better world. They live for their ideals and the future, but Floch does what he does for those currently living in this hellish world. He cannot affect the future, but he can act to help the world as it is now. He is realism incarnate, and as such he utters his most important words, that the only one who can destroy all the Titans is the devil himself. In order to change anything, you must be willing to sacrifice everything. If you don't have the will to send hundreds of men to their deaths, then you don't have the right to command hundreds of men to begin with. Floch willingly gives up his life to Erwin's plan. He sees Erwin as the devil that can save the world, the one who can kill all the Titans, and so he rides into battle knowing he will die, knowing that all his life would amount to is some cannon fodder to let someone else go ahead and accomplish something with their life. Yet Floch survives, having faced death of his own volition, and so because of that, Floch becomes the man so many watchers and readers grew to hate. When he confronts the main cast, he is justified in doing so because he saw a devil accomplish what they could not. And to really hammer home his feelings, the devil he followed died, and Armin lived.
何かを変えることのできる人間がいるとすれば、その人はきっと大事なものを捨てることができる人だ。化け物をもしのぐ必要に迫られたのなら、何も捨てることができない人には何も変えることはできないだろう。
The words of Armin, yet they are just words. Armin isn't the same as Erwin, be it for better or for worse. He represents an idealistic approach to conflict, not the realistic one Erwin enacted in his last moments. And so with Erwin's death and his replacement Armin, a different kind of leader, an idealistic one who shuns realism, Floch turns his attention to a different devil. After all, Eren said it himself at the start of the series, he will kill all the Titans. And that is all Floch needed. It did not matter who they were as long as they were a devil who could destroy Eldia's enemies, no matter the cost. And so as the scope of the series expanded, Floch's words gain a deeper meaning. The Titans that a devil is needed to destroy becomes the outside world and their persecution aimed at the Eldians. His devotion to Eren was always in service to his country. If you view things purely logically, with the Eldians as the victims and the rest of the world as aggressors, then you struggle to fault Floch's thinking and actions. Now, of course, in the grander scheme of Attack on Titan as a series, idealistic thinking is not thrown aside as worthless, but just using logic, it is hard to label Floch as anything but a fanatical but justified soldier who wished for his country to prosper. When Floch died, even in his last moments, he spouted that Eren, their devil, was there any hope? And considering how much death was played up in his introduction to the series, I think the fact that even as he died, what he once would have considered a meaningless death, he still held true to these ideals, shows this wasn't just some ideology he used as an excuse to be a sadistic prick. No, he genuinely believed that the things he did, the sacrifices he made, were needed to bring peace to Paradise Island. The two men he followed both were willing to sacrifice everything, so he, to follow their example, did everything in his power, morality be damned, to try support Eren. To change anything, that was the bare minimum he could do. However, a slightly tragic aspect of Floch's character is that he was always a cog, just like back when he accepted his death was just one minor sacrifice for Owen's plan. Even as he died, he still viewed himself as a pawn for Eren. He wasn't sad he was going to die, not scared. He was just upset. Upset he could not stop the main cast, that he could not protect his country and couldn't help his devil. Even to the end, every action he did was in service to others. In my opinion, the moment he accepted his death and charged the Beast Titan, he never lived another moment for himself. From that moment on, he had given his life up for the chance to destroy the Titans, and so never looked back, marching onward no matter how many bodies he had to trample over, all to, if only a little, aid the devil in saving the world. If Attack on Titan explores the idea of the cycle of hatred and war, and the people that result as the product of war, then Floch exists as one of the countless examples of how one's will can be tainted by war. One who experienced the horrors of conflict, and instead of fighting against them or running away, he embraced them. He became a cog of war, all in what ended up being a fruitless endeavour to end all war. And if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps pledge to my Patreon or become a channel member so you can get your name at the end of the video, like Hikari Desu, Rinjak9696, General Tonyos and Mr. Sputum. So with all that said and done, I've been Seth the Sin, the Deadly Sin of Geek, and I'm signing out. Stay safe, everyone.